Are you thinking of moving to Lisbon? Do you want to know if Estrela is the right neighborhood for you? Stay tuned because we have a lot of very valuable information to share with you. So let's start with location. Estrela, it sits here by the Tagus River, and I'm just gonna clean this here to make it a little easier to explain. And very good location as you have access to some amazing parkings like Tapada das Necessidades. You can walk over to Chiado. São Bento is right next door, same as Príncipe Real. And over here, just up the street from the Basílica da Estrela, you have Campo de Ourique. But let's look at some other things that the area have to offer. This is a general view of the Estrela neighborhood. And again, as I said, it is divided between Santos, Prazeres, which is named after the Cemitério de Prazeres. Down here, you have Lapa and Estrela. This is really the prime area. And then you have Jardim da Estrela, which is one of the most iconic gardens in Lisbon, and Tapada das Necessidades, which also deserves a lot of credit because it's outstanding. A lot of people don't actually know it's there, but it's beautiful and you should definitely visit. And a few things here like the Museum of Art History and the Oriental Museum as well on the neighborhood. Let's move into the next slide. Now let's talk about prices. And just showing over here a little slide with information that is very generic. You know, everything makes from 1 bedroom to 4 bedrooms, used and new, but just to give you a little taste of what's coming on the next slides. Stay tuned then to get the breakdown on each type of property, both used and new, and now sizes and bedrooms. So here the asking price, you know, and this is a general number for all the platforms that we gather to come up with this. The average goes in for, you know, the lower end for about 4,700 a square meter, all the way to the low 10,000 for a square meter. That's asking for used properties. And then the sale average between 3,500 to 8,500. So you see there's quite a bit of difference there on asking and sold. And that confuses a lot of people when they're looking to invest here. It's important to know one number that we get, which is the gap between average asking and actually average sold. In the neighborhood of Estrela is about 23%, which is substantial. But it's important to note that a lot of places sit there forever. There's an expectation from some sellers that are just unrealistic. And some would just also list, oh, if somebody willing to pay this, I will sell it. They don't really intend to. They're not serious. And the proof of that is that actually the places that sell, they have in Estrela a discount rate of about 8%, right? So there's a 23% gap between asking and actual sold, but for the ones that are actually sold, there's an average of an 8% difference between one and the other, okay? Here we have new. New, you won't see as much as a difference between asking and sold because developers, they do a lot of homework, and those that sell, they're well priced, right? So here we go in between 5,800 to 11,000 for asking price, and sold between 4,000 on the lower end, all the way to 12,500 on the top end. And these again are just averages. Prices can actually get higher than that based on what it is that you're going for. So what they do here, they just get that top 5% of the properties that are sold, and we average that up to give you a number. And this is what you see. It's actually interesting that you have a lower asking price than a lower sold price, which is probably to do with the amount of inventory on that apartment and the amount of sales, and the sales that actually happen were really more on the high end. So this gives you a bit of a good understanding before we dive into more details of what the market is like. Great variance between, you know, lower end to high end, both on new and used. All right, so let's move over to the next slide. Now let's talk about what are the neighborhoods that are getting most attention from the expat investors, right? Estrela did number 3 in 2023. And then the lead was Santo Antonio. And right next to it on second place, a very close second place, is Arroios, both at about 14% with a very small variance. And then with Estrela taking third place, and this is what we're going to be talking about today. And if you're still on the research of what area is best for me and where do I want to move to, there's so much stuff that we're going to be sharing with you on this presentation with Estrela, but also with many more videos to come, and the ones that we have already posted about different neighborhoods. So make sure to subscribe and click the bell button so you get the information as it is coming fresh, right? Moving here to a bit of pricing. We're talking about T1s. But when I do T1s, we also do studios. They kind of go in the same, just so you know, right? And with Lisbon, you're gonna see this trend of very different prices from the lower end to the top end product. And that's just because there's just so much with age of building and the work that's been done, the quality of the finishes, the location really. Estrela, as an example, has some very prime neighborhoods and some neighborhoods that are still developing and you can get better value, right? And this goes to show here. So with T1s and smaller, we have had an average sold price of anywhere between 160 to 400 in average. And with the price per square meter at almost 4,000 to 7,500. So that's for used properties. And then for new buildings, anywhere there between 260 for new ones all the way to 620. And this is for 1 bedroom and smaller, with price per square feet anywhere between 5,300 to 8,600. It is important to share that these are just average. You know, we get the top 5%, that makes the top, the bottom 5%, everything in between, and we break it down. Doesn't mean that you cannot find a 1 bedroom new that the price per square meter is 10,000, 9,000 or less, right? These are just some averages. It gives us a bit of guidance to work with. But of course, when you're working with us, when we're actually sitting down and analyzing a property, we're actually going to focus on that area as opposed to looking at the whole Estrela and then looking at much more to make sure that we're getting you the fair price for the property. All right, let's move now to 2 bedrooms. Sold price is average. Again, low end here on the 275 all the way to 750 for used one sold price, with square meter prices anywhere between 3,500 to 8,000. And again, just on the lower end, you really know this is a renovation project, right? 3,500 in Estrela is definitely something that you're gonna buy and come in and have to do a fair bit of work. You get in the bones, you get in the structure, and then you're building yourself from there, right? And then it has the location of Estrela. Is that the most prime? I wouldn't think so, but again, it does exist. So there is something for everybody. And we new 2 bedrooms, anywhere here with average sold price between 710 and 1.3 million euros, right? And again, you start to get to the new buildings now. Everything in Estrela that's being built, it's a bit more, I don't want to say luxurious, but it has to be high-end to make sense for developers, given the price of construction today, given the price of the land and the limited inventory of all of that. So you see here on that, with price per square meter going anywhere from 7,000 to 12,500 average per square meter in Estrela. All right, so we'll have some more fun information coming here for you. Who is buying in Lisbon? And again, our focus here is the desirable, is the central areas of Lisbon, the neighborhoods that are more sought after for expats investing in Lisboa. All right, number 1 in 2023, Americans with 15%, followed by somebody who's been here, a group that's been here for a long time, has been a long time investing in Lisbon, which is the French, followed by the Brits, and then, to no surprise, China at 8%. But the big surprise for me comes with number 5, 5% together with Brazil and Germany. It's Italy. But now think about that. If Italians are moving to Portugal, they're moving to Lisbon, there's something to be said about it, right? Everybody has that passion and the Italian dream. And again, I get it. Love Italy. Do I want to live there? Not really. All right, let's go back to information. 3 bedrooms in Estrela, right? And then here again, we try to get into a bit of a higher price point, especially when it comes to the higher end product. Being a family neighborhood close to the Liceu Francês walking distance to the British School, also very close to Red Bridge, very easy to get around with Estrela Garden, Tapada de Piedades. It's like the cream of la cream for families. So here we start to get into family homes, and you see prices going up to accommodate that. But again, you still have the lower end here at not even 400,000 for a rental project, right? All the way here to 2.2 million for an used apartment. I'm sure it's probably, you know, something of 2 million of 3 bedrooms. Must be very nice. And then price per square meter here, 3,700, all the way to 12,000 average sold price in the neighborhood of Estrela for used properties. And for new, it wasn't a lot of data, but here in the mid-range, it was 1.2 for some new products at about 8,200 for a square meter. All right, so let's move forward over here. What do we have? Now let's talk about T4s. Again, bigger properties, family residences, apartments still. There are a few homes, but I like to focus here on the apartments because there's more data. But if you are actually looking for a detached home, Estrela, Lapa, Santos are a great place for that. But here with T4 apartments, anywhere from low 400s all the way to 2.6 for used apartments average sale, with the square meter price between low 3,000s all the way to close to 9,000 euros per square feet. And for new developments, again, not as much data, but with an average price for T4 sold in new development for about 2.4 million at about 4,000 a square meter. A little bit of progression of prices in Estrela, and just to show how, you know, the market has been strong in this neighborhood historically. The dotted blue, it's average asking, and the solid yellow, it's actually sold price. I'm gonna excuse myself here. It's been a consistent graduate. Obviously we had, you know, a bit of COVID, a bit of interest, but even through the interest rate that we're going through, prices keep on going up and never been as high as they currently are. So as an investment, I do firmly believe in Estrela as a great place to invest, and also with that, a great place to live. It will make a great home. And as we're talking about investment, there's something that we're very strong about, which is transparency. And that's the reason why we're sharing this with you. And this is not just about a move, it's about making the right move. All the right moves to get you where you are now, to exactly where you want to be. So reach out to us, schedule a Zoom call, the link is in the description, and let's talk about how we can assist you and your family with moving to this beautiful place. All right, so let's continue here with rentals. Long-term rentals of 1 bedrooms, really averaging here anywhere from 800 to 2,000. And again, following the same as with any neighborhood in Lisbon. Huge discrepancy on what style of property is. You can't expect, you know, to have all the amenities, all the, you know, a fully weatherproof building with elevator, with air conditioning. Where on this end here, you're probably getting charm, new, right? So really different price points based on what your needs and your budgets are. Right? Moving to long-term 2 bedrooms, we have here anywhere from about 9,000, not that expensive, 900 to about 3,000. 3 bedrooms starting from 1,500 to low 4,000s. And not a lot of 4 bedrooms rented to talk about. So here is just another fun bunch of information. Who are the expats that are spending the most money per square meter in Lisbon? And this for me was a bit of a surprise when I started doing the research. The Irish are really ruling as price per square footage, not amount of real estate purchased, at about 11,900 euros per square meters on the top end of their spending, followed by China and Poland at about 11,500 per square meter, again on the top end market. So no surprise, the Swiss taking third place with about 10,000, and the Brazilians and the Brits 4th place with just under 10,000 per square meter. And of course, now we have this new player in town, which is the United States, taking 5th place at about 9,600. And again, those numbers are more, we got in the top end and who are buying the top end properties and who's spending most of it. Unfortunately, the Canadians did not make it. I put it here just so you know, but Canadians on their top end, it's just below 8,000. And then, I guess I was wrong about the 4-bedroom. Sorry, I'm just getting too excited about the information and following this light. There is data about 4 bedrooms for rent in Estrela. So here we go. 4 bedrooms range anywhere from 1,600, which is great. Obviously, this apartment is probably older, right? But it does the job, and you have the location. And now the way here to about 4,500, which seems quite reasonable. With a lot of families that we've been helping recently, they need to rent first before buy. We are finding that 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment that is nice in a nice neighborhood with everything that you would want in a new home in Lisbon to be around the 45. So this is very, very accurate, and it's a market that I work with a lot. 2 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms, and that's it. Let's see what we have over here. Just again, another picture, beautiful picture of Lisbon to finish. Be sure again to subscribe, follow our content, and look at this stuff from behind, because we have a lot of very useful information regarding the cost of living, pros and cons, neighborhood tours. There is actually one of Lisbon. And we're also going to be doing some walk-in tours that are very just interactive to really show you what it's like to be in the neighborhood. All right. And if you want to reach out to us, if you feel like you're ready to make the move, feel free to click on the link to schedule a Zoom call, and we'll be talking to you soon. Bye for now.